You're listening to the Hella Well with Danielle show, a podcast taking women of color on a journey exploring all things wellness and travel related. We're all about showing you how to put on your oxygen mask first and creating lasting self-care habits that will free you to travel the world and live the life you truly desire, and not one you have to fake loving. I'm your host, Danielle Washington. Now let's buckle up and start this journey. Hey there, it's time for another episode of the Hella Well with Danielle podcast, your weekly mental vacation from the daily grind for the busy woman of color who's on her healing journey and just may need a little guidance, or honestly, just may need a moment to breathe and take care of herself and pour into herself. I'm your tour guide on this journey, Danielle Washington, and today's topic feels like our dirty little secret. And it's the weight of being everything to everyone else. Whew. And I feel like I just need to pause on that one, because the weight of being everything to everyone else, even saying the words felt like, oh, that feels heavy. And as a Black woman myself, I know firsthand the challenges we face when it comes to balancing our own needs with the needs of others. And so I felt like this was just an important conversation because this invisible weight is hella heavy. But before we dive in, I want to take a moment just to drop in and get quiet from the noise from the outside world so we can be present and we can be here during our time together, taking this moment to truly make this a mental vacation from the outside noise. So I invite you to take your left hand and place it over your heart, and then place your right hand on top of your left hand. And I just want you to start breathing in, closing your eyes if you can, and breathing in through your nose, and feel as if you're breathing into your heart space, and then exhaling out of your mouth. Breathing in, giving yourself all that love that you want someone to give to you, that you may be giving to others. And exhaling any negative thoughts you may have about yourself or expectations you're putting on yourself. So breathing in, loving on you, taking care of you, giving yourself that love that you desire, that support that you need, that you often give to others. And one more time, breathe in deeply into that heart space, filling it with love, 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 and light. And exhaling any expectations. This is an expectation-free zone during this 20 minutes we're going to be here together. And if you haven't already, let's open your eyes and let's dive into today's topic. I guess the first thing to start with the conversation is let's discuss the societal pressures that Black women, I'm talking about Black women, but this can be for other women of color, this could be for other women, because I feel like we all have our own invisible weight that we carry. We all have our invisible weight of being everything to everyone else. And this may be for men too, but I'm talking from the perspective of a Black woman because that's what I am. But again, note that this could be open to males. This could be open to other women. This could be open to white women. This could be open to white men. I invite you to, if this resonates with you, rock with it. Just know that I'm saying from a Black woman's perspective because that's who I am. And so I can say from, that there are societal pressures that Black women especially face to take care of everyone else before themselves. And the pressure of Black women to be everything to everyone else is a complex one. And it's a sensitive issue that's been going on, honestly, for years. We've been debating this for years. At the core of this issue is the expectation that Black women should be able to fulfill multiple roles. We should be, the mother, the wife, the career woman, the caregiver, the community leader, the one who's watching all the kids in the streets, all while maintaining a sense of perfection and strength. Honestly, this is like asking us to be a Disney movie character. And I don't know about you, I don't want to be Cinderella. Ain't no Snow White. Ain't no Ariel. I don't know any other characters. I'm trying to think of another Snow White. clearly I don't watch Disney movies, but like, I don't want to be a Disney character movie. That's not who I am, but I feel like that's what society wants us to be. They want us to be Snow and White with the tan. And I'm not. I'm not Cinderella with the tan. The societal pressures that come, they come at all angles. They come from literally all angles. It's not just, it's coming from just society. It's coming from the society at large, yes, but it's also coming from the Black community. It's coming from the intersection of racism and sexism. And let's not forget, it's also coming from internal beliefs and self-talk. It's coming from within us. It's not always an external factor that's bringing these societal pressures on us. And if we look at history, Black women have been viewed and treated as the backbone of the families and communities for years. Since slavery, we were expected to be that one. And I get it, because families were being broken up, men were being sold different places due to, the family didn't really exist because we were, quote unquote, commodities. We were products. We weren't humans. And so a lot of Black women became the backbone of the families. And if I look at my own family, I look and see who's been in charge, who's been in control, who's been leading us. It's been a matriarch. It was my aunt. My aunt has passed away, but my aunt was, until she was 90 plus years old, she was the matriarch. She was the one who held us all together. She's the one who brought us together for family meals, for conversations, and just kept the family together. And when she passed, my cousin, who was another female, took over that role. And when she passed, it led us to look for another matriarch. We didn't even think about looking for a male to lead us. And again, I don't know if it's because that's just the way our brains have been trained and that's the way our family has run, but that's kind of what it's been. It's been a female in our family who's been the backbone of our community. And like Black women have been expected to be the person who provides the emotional, the physical, and the financial support to all their loved ones without expecting anything in return. And this expectation has been perpetuated over generations and has become deeply embedded in our cultural norms and values in the Black community, kind of like what I was talking about with my own family. Black women are often seen as the ones who are holding down because, quote unquote, that's our role. And as a result, you may feel as if this pressure is just on you like this heavy, invisible weight because no one's seeing the weight. This weight of being needed to live up to these expectations, to be the rock who constantly puts everyone and everyone else above their own needs. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of resentful about that. Like, not even low key. I am like resentful. Like, why do I have to be the one to sacrifice? Ooh. And I even feel guilty for even saying the word sacrifice and putting those words out in the streets for me to say, it feels like a sacrifice. But I said it. I said what I said. It feels like a sacrifice because sometimes it does. Sometimes it feels like a sacrifice to carry this weight of being everything to everyone else. And I'm resentful at times. And it kind of feels good to say out loud that I'm resentful at times, that I feel like I have to carry this weight. When I'm looking for like, who can I give this to? Can I opt out? Is there a check button to where I can opt out of this role? Because I don't always want to be this role. Because it feels like I'm sacrificing. This pressure to be everything to everyone can manifest in many different ways. I want to kind of clarify that. You may feel like you have to be perfect in every aspect of your life, whether it's your appearances, your behavior, in order to overcome negative stereotypes and perceptions of what it means to be a Black woman. And I talked about perfection last week. If you haven't heard that podcast episode, we talked about making room for imperfection because oftentimes we feel like we have to be perfect. And I think this invisible weight is a huge part, and it's at the root of this feeling of needing to be perfect. Or like you have to work harder than everyone else to prove yourself in your professional lives, even in the face of discrimination and biases and microaggressions that I'm going to bet the farm we all kind of face. Overall, the pressure to be a Black woman, to be everything to everyone, is a multifaceted issue. I don't even know where to begin sometimes. It's one that has an impact on our mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And I want to pause here because I feel like this is an important point to make, that being everything to everyone else is expensive AF. It's expensive AF when it comes to your energy, when it comes to your emotional well-being, when it comes to your physical well-being. And I need you to understand and recognize that this isn't free. This isn't, I could just do this pro bono. No, there is a cost. There is a major cost to your well-being when you attempt to be everything to everyone else. So I need you to recognize that even though you may not see anything, you may not be paying attention to the cost, there is. Because while you're busy being busy, carrying this invisible weight, you may miss the signs of how it's totally jacking up your life and your happiness. I mean, honestly, what people don't realize is when you're feeling burnt out, that's a sign of your energy being messed up. That's a sign of energy blocks. It can manifest as physical and emotional exhaustion, which creates what I was talking about a second ago, energy blocks in our body, making it feel difficult for energy to flow freely and create a sense of stagnation. And it can show up as resentment, as I was mentioning how I felt. Like when you're constantly giving to others without receiving adequate support. Adequate support. Receiving adequate support. Like that's a big one. When you're constantly giving to others without receiving the support and the care in return, it's easy to low-key or not so low-key feel resentful, because this can create an energetic block in your heart chakra. And that's the area that governs your ability to give and receive love, compassion, and empathy. But it can also show up as an energetic block, as showing up as self-doubt. Honestly, women who feel like they have to be everything to everyone else will begin to doubt their own value and their own worth. I know this energy block has played a huge role in my life and in my healing process. Like I felt like I was only worthy when I was giving to other people. And so I became an overgiver. I found myself overgiving because I doubted my value, doubted the sense that if I didn't give as much as I felt like people needed me to give, would they see me valuable? Would they see my worth? And this created an energetic block in my solar plex, which if this resonates with anyone, you're creating a block in your solar plex. And that's that area of your body, in your navel area, where there's your sense of worth, confidence, and personal power. And it shows up in many other ways. But I wanted to kind of point out that this feeling that you have to be everything to everyone else comes at a really freaking expensive cost. And a cost that I want you to think, am I still willing to pay this cost? Is my well-being worth it? Whether it's my physical, emotional, behavior well-being, is it worth it? But let's go with the big elephant in the room. And let's talk about the big choice that you may be feeling. The big choice that I know I felt. Me or them? Me or them? Me or them? Who am I going to care for? Me or them? Who gets the priority in my life? Me or them? Because that feels like that's the big choice. Is it me or them? Gun to head, me or them? This pressure to be everything to everyone can create this internal conflict and anxiety of you feeling like you have to choose. Is it me or them? As you navigate the competing demands of caregiving for others and self-care. On one hand, you may feel the responsibility to be there for those in your life, whether it's your children, your parents, your friends, your community. But on the other hand, you have your own needs, your own desires that you want to prioritize. And let me be clear, in case someone didn't tell you today, this week, or last month, or ever in your life. You are worthy. You are worthy of fulfilling those needs and desires. You are worthy of those desires and needs being met unapologetically. And this can include things like self-care, pursuing your own needs and goals and aspirations, taking time to recharge and rest. And let's say it again, taking time to rest and recharge for no reason. Not because, I did all this and I need time to rest and recharge. Taking time to rest and recharge just because. An apology, just because I'm going to rest and recharge. You're worthy of that. However, because of the pressure to take care of others, you may be feeling mad guilty about it. You may be feeling like it's even selfish considering the thought of prioritizing yourself over others. Like, how dare you do that? Society will make you feel that. How dare you do that? You're supposed to be that Disney character. You're supposed to be Cinderella with the tan. And you may also worry about the impact that prioritizing yourself may have on others and your relationships. And that guilt is deep. That guilt is ingrained in not just our society, but it's ingrained in us internally. And the negative self-talk plays a huge role in keeping us in line, keeping us in that Cinderella with the tan moment. I think about it as a caregiver for my parents. I want to travel more, but I worry about, what does it say about me? Does that make me a bad daughter? Am I abandoning my parents because I want to be in the sun? I'm tired of these atmospheric rivers. I'm tired of not being in a warm area. I'm tired of not being on a beach where the weather is warm and the water is warm and the men are cuter. Does that make me a bad daughter? It's something I grapple with. Like, I feel so guilty, even though I've done the work. I know that I'm worthy and deserving of self-care and prioritizing myself. But sometimes I feel like I'm abandoning my parents in their time of need, even though I know that they have the funds to hire help. And wait for it, I ain't an only child. I have a brother who can pitch in. He doesn't, but he can. He's physically and close enough and able-bodied to do it. Yet I'm here feeling like I have to choose between taking care of myself and taking care of others. And that leads back to what I was saying before, that sense of internal conflict and anxiety. And I want you to know, it's totally common to feel this feeling of guilt I keep talking about. It's totally common to feel guilt and shame when you're prioritizing yourself over others. It doesn't make it right, but it's very common. And this stems from this idea that taking care of oneself is being selfish, and that somehow you're failing your responsibilities to others. You're not, but that feeling, that internal conflict that we are, is just so strong and so deep, which is why I want to shine a light on this invisible weight. Because when we keep keeping this weight invisible, then the societal pressures it becomes norm. But when we start bringing a light and bringing awareness to this, we can start saying, wait, I see the weight, and that's not cute, and that's heavy, and it's time for us to go on a diet. But this mindset of feeling like you have to be everything to everyone else can also lead to you feeling like you're being taken advantage of, like you're constantly giving to others without receiving anything in return. And these feelings of guilt and shame are just compounded with everything that we go through to feel like we have to be everything to everyone else. And I don't know about you, but I hate this invisible weight. I hate the weight. Like I it's not even low key. I hate this. The more work that I've done on myself to be able to realize that I'm even carrying this weight, the more I hate feeling like I need to carry this weight. And it often feels like the world is demanding you to make a choice. Me or them. Me or them. Do you take care of yourself or others? But is that really the only option? Trick question? Nah, it ain't. It's not the only option. It's not the only option, but that's the story society wants us believing. Similar to the lies Vanessa was trying to have us believe when she was trying to be all biased and rooting for Jackie and Micah on the Love is Blind Season 4 reunion. But I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying I'm still a little salty about that. But I want you to know it's not an all or nothing situation. But you got to be willing to rewrite the narrative. So how do we begin to lose the weight? Well, by putting yourself on a diet. And that diet looks different for everyone. It could be being intentional with your time, looking for opportunities to incorporate self-care into your daily routine. For example, it could be taking a short walk. It could be doing a small, deep breathing while you're in an elevator, while you're in the car. It could be as short as just doing that, taking a moment to be like, woo-sa. That's being intentional with your time, to pouring into yourself. It could be identifying your needs, taking time to reflect on what do I need to be fulfilled and energized. It can be looking like getting organized. Because honestly, when we feel like we have to be everything to everyone else, oftentimes we're probably not really using our time wisely, which compounds the issues because we're always feeling like we're constantly putting out fires and we're not having a moment to breathe. So getting organized can be really helpful. Taking time to organize your space and create systems that work for you. It could also be chakra balancing. I've done a podcast episode, I think last year or the year before, on balancing your chakras. But the way I go about balancing my chakras and balancing my energy and doing energy healing is through Kundalini work. Through Kundalini work and yoga, I'm able to work on clearing out energy blocks. I'm able to work on getting that self-awareness that comes with Kundalini yoga, getting that clarity that comes with Kundalini yoga, but also doing Reiki is another great way of doing it. And there's many different ways. There's not one size fits all. What I do want you to know is it is time for us to put ourselves on a diet. And it's about making a choice and making that choice again. It's about reprogramming how we show up and what narrative we are believing and then living. A huge part of this podcast is about helping you release the weight of feeling like you need to be everything to everyone else. And relax and breathe and pause and enjoy life. But first you got to realize the weight is not invisible and it's expensive AF. And you're worthy of letting go of being everything to everyone else. I'll talk to you next time. Ciao. Thanks for joining us this week on the Hello Well with Danielle show. Make sure to visit our website, hellowellwithdanielle.com, where you can subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music and never miss an episode. Also, you can follow us on social media at Hello Well with Danielle on Facebook and Instagram, and Hello Well Danny on Twitter. And if you like hella love the show and got some good nuggets out of it, know that I'm not too proud to ask for you to please leave a rating or review on iTunes so that we can continue to expand our reach and help other women of color. Again, thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Ciao.